Okay, hello my fellow FOAs. So y'all, I actually already had recorded a reaction to this and I watched it twice because I like to watch things twice to kind of look back and like enjoy the second time instead of analyzing it. But unfortunately, my mic was again not working and decided that it was not going to record any of my audio. So therefore I have to re-record again. So just believe I'm going to be watching this twice again. What I might do is that I will probably include just like the first initial reaction to me watching it, maybe on top of the one that you're watching now, on top of like where the video is being recorded on top, so you can kind of see what my facials were in that. But yeah, and if you see me with this, it's because this is insurance, y'all, because luckily for one of the Christmas gifts that Shy gave me was a set of 2 little microphones, just like in case I wanted to try this out instead of using my normal razor, which like I don't know, we might have to move to this because this razor's driving me crazy with how it disconnects so often to the OBS system, y'all. But anyways, I will say whenever I first watched it, I will be like probably remembering, like retelling what I remember from like commentary the first time or reaction from the first time. But I will say that I was very surprised to see the Han and JL doing a Garden cover, because I mentioned in that first reaction that I actually am do listen to, or at least am aware of Garden, because if you guys don't know, he does a lot of OSTs for dramas. So I like maybe like 6 or 7 of the songs that I like from him happen to be OSTs. So the first one that like comes to mind was the OST for Yellow, which was Yellow was the name of the web series, and it's like I just instantly fell in love with the vibe of it because he has like a little bit of like an airy kind of like, I think I mentioned like vocal fry, but I don't know if that's the correct term for it, but he's just very like almost kind of like longing or yearning is what I would describe his like vocal tone to sound like. So I was like, okay, like yeah, it was very surprised to see that they decided to do a cover, but I don't think I have heard the song before. But yeah, that was one of the songs that I have heard.
It's okay, I love you. 간단한 말을 너 몰래 하루를 가득 채우고 기대해. 내일은 떠날 수도 있다고. 너는 오늘 아름답구나.
The other one was Happy Ending for the True Beauty OST, because as you know, like I am a Chow and Unwoo stan, so I was like, oh, best believe, and I really liked True Beauty when the webtoon was out, so best believe I ended up watching that drama, and of course he did one of the OSTs for that. The other one was a remake of the song Romantic Sunday. I forgot who does the original version, but he did it for the Hometown Cha-Cha drama, so that's I forgot which. I'll probably be putting pictures of like the drama if you guys don't know which one I'm talking about by name, or despite maybe the cover of the like title, or not title, cover of the like poster for the OST. I think the last one, I think, and the most iconic in my opinion, is probably the Alchemy of Souls. If you have ever seen that that drama, it was on Netflix. I believe it was Hwang Min-hyun former from 101 and former of Newest. It was also in that one, as well as what's it called, Byung-chan from Victon was also in that drama. So yeah, so that I really liked the OST. That was for the second season, or second or first season, if I'm not mistaken. It could have been, I'll probably let y'all know again, but very iconic OST. So there are a couple songs, like I said, that I do know of his, and I really like his style of singing. So I was very surprised to see, JL and Han do this. And I'm like also wanting to know, like, behind the scenes, if anyone ever decides to, like, if you guys have a fan sign or something like that. I just, out of curiosity, like, if anyone, you could think of that as a question, to be honest, to ask them, like, of how this came to be, or on Weverse, if y'all, like, because I technically don't really talk to or like ask questions of the members on Weverse. I'm kind of more of like a silent, just have it for like notification updates and stuff like that. But that could be a question y'all could ask of like, oh, like how did y'all choose this song? Because again, I mean, it makes sense. Like I said, with I think Han probably like, it's very much, I feel like Han's taste for this particular song, like I said, because I have seen already it twice and heard it. And I think, like I mentioned at the end of it, that I have actually heard like at least like the chorus like verse for this song. So I'm like, it does sound a little bit familiar. But anyways, y'all, we're just gonna go ahead and rewatch it again, which again, I apologize, but what can I do, y'all? I really can't, like, this is like, honestly, like, I was a little peeved about this one, but this was a shorter video, whereas I recorded me watching Dwang with You episode 3, and that was an hour, y'all. So I have to re-record that video again. Not today because it's too long. That'll probably be tomorrow, but I'm upset about that because I was dying over that episode. So I think that had me a little bit more peeved than this one did. But either way, I think this is like more doable in terms of me like re-reacting. But and I just didn't want to do like a voiceover because again, I don't remember exactly everything that I said because I went on for quite a while after I watched it like twice to kind of say a little more about like detail wise and like things that Han's voice reminded me of. But we're just gonna go ahead and rewatch it, y'all.
어쩌면 나는 알았을까
I was saying that like Han was really trying to like copy or mimic a little bit of 카더가든's style of vocal tone.
뭘 기대하고 있는지
Cause it's very like airy too.
그리도 많이 보면
Like that part of it specifically.
걷다가 문득 생각났던 얄궂은 농담 말해주려 고개를 돌리던 그때 아마 느꼈을
Like the falsetto, y'all.
믿었고 믿고 있어 그대 작은 나의 세상이 되어
I was surprised by like the band vibe of it too, but it makes sense because 카더가든 I think is also a band, I think, or has a lot of band influence. But it's just very like groovy in my opinion, but also melancholy and like bittersweet.
그대여 내 많은 꿈이 되어줘 마음은 쉽게 변할 수
I think it's like the style of him. I think is when he says like words, he kind of makes it softer sounding instead of like really hard.
그건 나의 선택일 거라 난 믿었고 믿고 있어
Yeah, instead of saying oh, they're like ah, you know. I think that's what it is that like makes his voice sound so soft when he drags out the notes.
꿈을 꾸게 만약 이게 나의 착각이라도 그대여 내 많은 꿈이 되줘 넌 말했었지 날 믿어보겠다고 그건 아주 큰 사랑이야 그대 작은 나의 세상
The harmonies, y'all.
그려본 적 없는 꿈을 꾸게 만약 이게 나의 착각이라도 그대여 내 많은 꿈이 되줘
I just realized they both have like the same like the outward leg up on the stool.
나는 너와 저만 길을 가볼래 만약 이게 나의 착각이라도 그대 작은 나의 세상 되줘 어쩌면 나는 알았을까 이토록 멀리 이토록 깊게
Oh. Oh my god, yeah, it's just so good though. Like I mentioned before in the first time I watched it, I think they just do a really good job of like finding a song that suits both of their vocals because obviously like I mentioned, I think Han does have like a really like he has powerful like vocals and so does JL, but like there's just on a different like they're both very different, but they suit each other so well when they do like harmonies. So I'm also wondering like oh if this was like them like I said a Valentine's Day gift or was it just because you know like it's been a minute since like they did the Little Prince and maybe like they wanted to see what the feedback would be, to like start off with them too. Maybe as like a series of like things that they end up doing like along the like way to fill in like maybe for content wise. But I think also said like, oh my god, like I'm surprised like, you know, FNF like really stepped up and was like, let's get you like a nice background like studio kind of like setup vibe to like fit in with like the live performance like aspect of it, because wow, I was not expecting that. It's definitely a lot different from what we usually see from JL, with him kind of sitting in the practice room doing his covers and like in the dark, and also like a full length one, because you know he always gives us like little snippets here and there but not the full length. So I'm like, okay, it's him actually like coming through with like a full length version of a song. But I also said that there was parts here with Han's vocals that kind of reminded me of this song by Junie, if you guys know that artist. It was also a OST. I think it was for like the feeling season or something like that. That's what it was called or whatever. It was very like more of like a dark kind of drama, because it's like having to deal with like it kind of deals a little bit with not like, you know, mental health in a way, because one of the characters is actually or was a trainee, an idol trainee, and then like a video ends up leaking about her, and she kind of like has like a ends up getting kicked out. So like it's very much her having to overcome that. So like the song is very like, for that, like that song is very moody and very like dark, but also like kind of in a way healing, because it's kind of like, oh, like, you know, making sure that you don't let it overcome you completely. It's called I Will by Junie. Which I'll probably like add like a little snippet in here so you can kind of hear what I'm talking about, because in that song Junie sounds very like, you know, airy, kind of like very like kind of almost in pain, or like kind of yearning for like the bright, like the, you know, like the positive, like for the positive side to like the positive sides of things, and not like the darkness overcome him, because of like that what the whole show is about. Which I was like, it's also in the middle of like, the show takes place I think in the middle of Corona, if not after Corona. So like it has to do with a lot of things that happened, or it talked a little bit about that. So it definitely sounds kind of like the same also kind of style that Ka더gaden does, which he always does like a very like sentimental kind of like romantic sound when it comes to his music, just based off of his OSTs for sure. So getting to hear them do a song of his, I was just like very interested to see like how, if like it would sound in their tones. But like they definitely try to like copy a little bit of like his technique that he kind of does, because like I said, Ka더gaden kind of has like an airy kind of breathy kind of like almost kind of like whiny kind of like sound to him, like kind of like he is like in pain or like yearning for something. So I think it just makes sense with the choice that they make. But I also really do want to know like, oh, was it like Han who like liked this song and like shared it with Jo, and Jo was like, oh yeah, because you know they have done the Little Prince before, and that also is like a meaningful kind of ballady kind of song. So even though this song's also a little bit more on the slower side too, and kind of a little bit ballady, it did bring in a little bit more of like that band guitar kind of like jazzy-ish kind of vibe, kind of like kind of reminds me a little bit of Jana B, if you have heard of Jana B, which I, to be honest, I only know like one song of his. It's kind of like more on the retro kind of like old-timey kind of like song vibe. The song that I'm thinking about for that is what was it called? I'm trying to remember. It's like a very popular song. It's like, I can't remember exactly what the name of it is, but IU also did a cover or reversion of it for one of her older albums too. If I remember what the name of the title is, I'll also put it up on the screen. But it reminds me of that kind of like that old vintagey kind of like more like the songs like back in the day when it was more so like very much like about love, and not necessarily what sometimes like, especially like not always in like, not in K-pop, but more so in like the like Western side of it, like very much like they some of the music nowadays it's like not my cup of tea. That's why I like really like songs with the message. So it kind of reminds me of that kind of vibe as well. So that's why I really enjoyed seeing them with their choice of song because like I said, Carla like is known for his OSTs and for like his unique vocal tone. So kind of seeing how they would sing it and kind of also kind of adapting or adopting some of the technique that he uses in his like way of singing, but still kind of keeping in a way their own tone because JL like you could hear it here like I think it's the like the way that they start some of the words and then the way that they end it. Like I said, they instead of enunciating it like the word so hard, instead of saying like oh it's like ah like they drag out like a ah sound to it, so that's why it sounds very soft and breathy. But yeah, I really enjoyed their cover for sure. I think I'm gonna watch it again just for y'all because like I said, I watched it twice when I first watched it and I had more to say at the end, so I will probably reiterate what I ended up saying from that part in here in the second time because it had to do more, so instead of like with technique it had more to do with the like outfits in the set.
어쩌면 나는 알았을까
Like that part. That part specifically reminded me of that Junie song that I was talking about.
수줍게도 모은 손 위로
Also, did you guys notice that like Jo and Han both kind of lift their eyebrows up whenever they hit like a high note?
걷다가 문득
Little piano, like love it.
얄궂은 농담 말해주려 고개를 돌리다 그때야만 느꼈을
You see like their eyebrows raise.
믿었고 믿고 있어
Yeah, you see instead of oh it's ah.
이 세상이 되고 그려본 적 없는 꽃을 고개 만약 이게 나의 착각이라도 그대 오늘만을 통해 되죠 마음은 쉽게 변할 수도 어쩌면 쉽게 굳어지게 되는 걸 알아 그건 나의 선택일 거라 난 믿었고 믿고 있어 그대 작은 나의 세상이 되어 그려본 적 없는 꿈을 꾸게
I think it's like the bass that's making it sound like a little bit more retro. Like I live for their harmonies. Also the fact that they also always look at each other when they do the harmonies at the beginning. This part. Me already hearing it 4 times, I've already like learned part of the lyrics, y'all. Like it just sounds so good. Like I just love how like breathy it is and how emotional it is. Like they get so absorbed, like they get so absorbed into the music and the song. But I was gonna say, or what I did say after I watched the second time, that I noticed that if you guys both noticed, they're basically wearing the exact same outfit, like in terms of like pieces. Like they're both wearing like black dress shoes. They're both wearing like darker denim jeans. They're both wearing cardigans. They're both wearing button up shirts underneath. Their hair is actually both covering like the fringe down. It's not parted or anything. But I was gonna say, if you guys also noticed that Han's jacket or sweater or cardigan actually matches like the mauvey brown wall behind them, while JL's kind of looks like the two room dividers on each side that kind of like have like the focal point on the mauve wall, where and the walls are beige too, so like it's interesting how they styled them to be more on the neutral side. But I think it makes sense with like the vibe. They're kind of giving that like more of the, trying to be like a more like warmth, kind of like in a way like maybe like boyfriend like vibe, kind of like what's the, like kind of clean cut, kind of more softer boy image with the outfit that they're wearing. So like I found that really interesting too. And then the fact, like I said, that they FNF even like splurged to like, give them like to let them record this in like an event venue like space, to be honest too, because I was like, oh. But I think it's because maybe they're starting to like do a little bit more with like their content to kind of like feed us, because I feel like it's either always like AHOF the record, or it's like now they started doing again AHOF hour. But even then it was, we're barely on AHOF hour episode 4, and they've been around for like maybe like a couple months already for like the episodes. So maybe they're trying to like fill in a little bit things here and there, so to keep like the fans engaged with the group, because it's whenever they do like an event, obviously, and then it takes them like a couple maybe a couple weeks, couple months to edit the footage to be AHOF the record. And then obviously we're not even doing AHOF episodes because they're technically like doing events. So maybe that's what, maybe they're just trying to like get some more content. But I would think I was saying too that starting with Hano's, I'm hoping this becomes like a series of things that they end up doing where it's like a full length cover. Or for like the other members, like if we see like trios or duos like doing dancing, like doing like, to be honest, anything, because I would live for it, because I like to see each one kind of like do their own thing with what they're good at. Not that obviously everyone's like, I feel like is really good at everything and well rounded, but you know what I mean, like, so there's like their specialty. So I would kind of want to see if by chance they do like a just like a cover like performance with the diva line, or with the dance line, or with JL and Juwon and maybe Han. Like I would love to see that too. Like I would just like to see all of the members kind of get their moment to have their own like separate kind of content for things that they maybe are wanting to do and like enjoy doing. Because obviously, like I said, we haven't gotten it's been a minute since we did little prints, right, for they did the little prints for Universe League, right? But I guess maybe they just wanted to want people were maybe asking for another cover, or maybe they just thought that this was a good opportunity to like kind of launch this and see where it goes in terms of like feedback, in terms of like if people, well, obviously everyone's gonna enjoy it, but like kind of see where, if this is something that will get like garner more like attention for them, and see where it goes basically, and try test the waters. But I think they did a great job. Like I said, their tones, like I said, are very like good together, even though they are like a little bit different. But I think when it comes to like the harmonies and everything, obviously JL does go really high with his, like he has that like they both have really high range. But I think I think I said that Han is a little bit more on the deeper like kind of vibe when it comes to like his tone, where I know JL can, but I feel like for JL he has to like try a little bit harder for that, whereas Han, like, it naturally comes to him. But again, both are our main vocals, so they did a great job. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, if you haven't already heard some of the Garden OSTs or any of his music, I do recommend the ones that I at least recommended to y'all. I will be obviously putting them on the screen again for y'all, and like show like just in case you wanted to. And then also I do recommend Junie song I was talking about, or any discography by Junie, because I do really like his vibe. It's very R&B-esque if you are into that. But anyways, again, I'm sorry that I had to re-record this, and like I said, it might be a little weird with me like with this little mic, but it's just my insurance that if my mic for some reason stops working while I'm using OBS, I'll have the audio to place over it on my phone just in case, and that if that is to happen in the future. So it probably will be looking like a little bit like this for my videos in the future, or I will be obviously clipping this to my shirt instead of on my JL PC holder and PC. I just thought it would be cute for this video again, since I am recording it, and yeah, it's more of me being chill, and like also we'll be using a thumbnail from like the previous recording, obviously, so we don't have to worry about this. But anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and I shall see you in the next one.